luggers connected the coastal region with the demand of downtown New Orleans. Less than 100 years ago, this was an inland port. We have photographs to this day of luggers lined up side by side here with workers here, unionized unloaders discharging the oysters from here, putting them on drayage and getting them to the downtown markets. Ahead of me is the French Quarter, 10 blocks of the Mississippi River. Behind me over here, about 2 miles, is Bayou St. John, connecting with Lake Pontchartrain. So in the 1790s, the Spanish decided to connect those two by excavating what they call the Carondelet Canal. And that connected Bayou St. John with this area immediately behind me. So you have the main canal, and then a turning basin here where schooners, luggers, and other vessels would turn around, dock, and unload all of these resources from the lake. Probably most significantly, lake oysters. And the vessel that specialized in bringing in these oysters was called an oyster lugger. It was a small sailboat with a rounded hull, and its most distinctive feature was what was called a lug sail. What was so effective about it was that the boom was mounted to the mast with a very loose connection, such that you could swing that boom around like 180 degrees. Coupled with the round hull, this made luggers phenomenally maneuverable. We are at the French Quarter riverfront at the exact spot that 100 years ago was called Picayune Tier. And what it did was connect the coastal region and all the resources, particularly the oysters being harvested out of the Terrebonne, the Barataria, the Breton Sound, coming up on sailboats called luggers, landing over here, and then transporting their cargo to the French market for sale. If you look at the river today, the river's very low. It's between 3 and 4 feet above sea level. It can get as high as 17 feet. So with the stage going up and down, you needed a dock that floated up and down with it. So the tier was this wooden platform or stage that was hinged that floated with the changes of the stage. So you could just picture these one mast, one boom sailboats coming in from the coastal area, sailing right up on the tier. The union members of the Oyster Discharging Association would shoulder these big heavy sacks and barrels, bring them over the levee to a pavilion that was located right over here. There, the Louisiana Oyster Commission representatives would inspect the cargo, look for bacteria, look for problems. They would tax them, after which point the sacks were either put on mule drayage, on mule carts, or on railroads and brought to regional or local markets. What happened to Picayune Tier? What happened to Lugger Landing? Well, 2 technological transformations shifted the geography of getting oysters to market. One of them was the advent of the outboard motor. This is in the 19-teens, and that shifted the waterborne aspect of the trade from these sailboats to motorized boats. The other aspect was the development of trucks and highways, and that shifted the route to market of these oysters from waterborne areas to places like Picayune Tier, to highways, to places such as P&J's on Rampart Street, at which point trucks arrive and the distribution is throughout city restaurants today.
There were oyster saloons everywhere, I mean almost on every corner. It wasn't until trains were introduced, canning practices, you know, you could can the oysters, steam them, and then ship them around the country. And then further, when refrigeration and ice machines came about, that they could actually ship fresh oysters around the United States.
You know, when it comes to oysters, people really want to know where they're from. Health-wise, too, it's like one of the most scrutinized products. And we want to make sure that you know where the product's coming from. You know, this company, 140 years, has been through famine, storms, drought, wars, man-made disasters. But it's in our blood, and we love it, and we love to treat people with the best product in the world.